Do you guys remember early quarantine on TikTok? There was this one video that went viral and it was like, excuse me, her name is Margot. Not Marco or Mango. It was just some girl making a little song about her lizard. Well, in the past 5 years, that's gone downhill. I'm sure you guys can understand I need to wait until the 30-second mark before I can start saying bad words, or else Midnight's not gonna get any new diapers. So, how's the weather, guys? Okay, 30 seconds should be up by now. This person now goes by the name of Hawke. He has now become a millionaire because he used his TikTok fame to promote other sites where, he would make videos bouncing on toys, if you know what I mean, while wearing furry costumes, of course. And even though he is a millionaire, he's scamming his fans out of GoFundMe money because he neglected that bearded dragon in the beginning and then it died. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of information at once. I'll get into it, trust me. I'm just gonna interject myself here, post-editing and everything. I just want to make sure that Hawke knows because he has gone on record to say that he watches every video about him. He's also known to be very petty. I don't know if they'd be petty enough to stoop down to the level of false striking, but I just want to let it be known, it ain't how it is on YouTube like how it is on TikTok. This entire video is fair use. If you attempt to falsely flag this down or strike this down because of, I don't know, trying to say that it was against fair use or trying to say that I defamed you, legal action will be taken. Not that I'm trying to be like all threatening and stuff, I just know the rules on TikTok are way different than YouTube, so I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. I don't think you'd stoop that low, I just, you know. Anyways, on with the video. Now, Hawke is, I believe, strongly lolcow material. I was considering it, I just hadn't seen that he had done anything horribly deplorable yet. Until now, of course, when he potentially neglected his pet to death. Like, what? And he was neglecting his pet for the entirety of the time that he had it. I just didn't know anything about bearded dragons and what they needed to survive until I was doing research for this video. But yeah, we're gonna go back in videos and we're gonna see that this thing was like not treated well at all. But the main thing that I had seen is he would always crash out so hard about comments.
So I am either deleting this account or I'm about to go private because I cannot handle the awful, awful things you are putting in my comment section. Hormonal weight is so hard to lose. I have been working out and I can't lose it, but all you fucking bodybuilder men in my comments say, no, it's so easy to lose. No, it's fucking not! I'm so tired of people telling me to just go work out like I haven't already fucking tried that. Like I haven't tried to go on diets. Like I haven't tried to get this weight off.
And it's just like, okay, I've fallen for rage bait maybe once or twice, alright? I've never like actually like yelled at the camera or anything or yelled into the microphone on this channel. Like, I don't do that. He does, and we're gonna see that. But it's like, come on. Like, it doesn't even matter. Even if you're not getting rage baited, even if it's somebody actually just being a degenerate loser hating on you for no reason. Okay, listen, if you are going to be a personality on the internet, you have to accept the fact, and it's better to accept it before it happens, because I'm promising you it will happen. You are going to get nasty comments about the way that you look, and probably also threats against your well-being. It's not something I'm encouraging, I'm just saying that's just the reality we live in, and you gotta prepare yourself for it. It doesn't matter if you're making cute little ASMR videos or something. It doesn't matter if you're 10 years old, it doesn't matter if you're 30 years old, 50 years old. There's losers out there on the internet that are gonna send you that type of shit. It can literally be for things as simple as you're corny or something like that. You have to just understand that, and especially when you're a grown man, you can't be sitting here making videos screaming about hate comments. This is another, like, this is the #1 rule on the internet, is if it does get to you, if you can't control looking at the comments and it does get to you, don't post about it online. Once you start posting videos of you crying and you freaking out and melting down about all the hate comments are just gonna get 10 times worse and 10 times more common. Which is why we're here talking about Hawke, is because he has a horrible flaw of just being so incredibly sensitive. And no, I don't mean in the way where somebody makes a dark humor joke that's just gross for the sake of being gross. And then you're like,
why is everybody so sensitive nowadays? All these snowflakes.
No, I'm talking about like falling for easy rage bait, having multiple meltdowns on camera for sympathy as well. And then there's some that aren't even rage bait, it's just like being mad for no reason. This video is of somebody making a joke being like, oh, well, if you ain't some sissy, why do you get a tattoo? I don't know anything about tattoos. They're talking about something about using a certain type of spray or something when you're getting a tattoo. And then Hawke takes this so personally that he's like, why don't you shut up?
Opinion, but if you need numbing cream to get a tattoo, you got no business going to get a tattoo.
Or you can mind your business and shut the fuck up. Everyone's pain tolerance is different. Just because you have a high pain tolerance doesn't mean everyone else does. I can't do leg tattoos without numbing cream. I will kick my artist if they hit the wrong nerve on my leg. Sadly, it's happened before, but he was understanding. So no, we're not gonna shame people for using numbing cream.
Roman Hawke is literally the definition and embodiment of that one friend that's too woke. If you don't know what that means, it's pretty much a person who, even in a progressive friend group, everybody will be like, come on, you're trying really hard to be a victim of something here. What are you doing? Someone who's just doing way too much. Way too much. Over here talking about like, oh, we should stop shaming people for their cream that they need for tattoos. Like, what? Dude, it's not that big of a fucking deal. And another thing is to lead us into the Margot situation, which is the name of the bearded dragon. He would go on and make these videos talking about, see, we're not gonna body shame my lizard, as if the lizard is as if it's a human who is going to take this body shaming into an account and is gonna get like depressed or something. You're overfeeding it, and that's not healthy for an animal. And that's eventually what killed it, by the way. Gastric neuroendocrine tumors, which I might have pronounced that wrong, but bear with me. Or GNT is what ended up being the fate of Margot, which is a newer type of cancer, but is believed to be linked to unhealthy feeding of reptiles. Not that I'm saying you should study every single type of cancer to see what and what not to do, because there's so many out there. I mean, there's the obvious ones like don't go sit on a tub of radiation, you know? But this is pretty basic stuff because it's pretty much just like avoiding diabetes too. Just keep your animal healthy. Roman Hawke loves to say, oh, just so you know, it was cancer that killed Margot. You guys are all pieces of shit. Cancer just falls out of the sky. I mean, well, yeah, for humans, but it's a little bit different for animals. I mean, sometimes it can be like that, sure, but, you know. Did you guys know that leukemia in cats is contagious just by, like, saliva and stuff like that? Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna go into a big in-depth rant about how it's different between animals and humans. That one sentence should be enough. And the fact that there is a potential link between obesity and improper care with this type of cancer, it makes it pretty damning when you see what Margot looks like. Look at this picture right here. Holy shit. This is what a normal bearded dragon looks like, and this is Margot. But yeah, guys, stop commenting mean things about my lizard, cause body positivity. And then here's another example of him getting needlessly passive-aggressive and angry just because somebody said it. What are you, like, talking about, like, getting the right pronouns for your animal? Dude, it's an animal.
First of all, never call her it. Second of all, if you don't see Margot, don't say she died.
Alright, but this video has been like 80% me yapping. How about I finally get on with the video, which is supposed to be an apology, but really isn't. It's more of just a crash out. And it's really funny, because he gets into a fursuit to even start the apology. And puts on a voice changer.
So, I'm at my wit's fucking end. I'm wearing a suit head because I haven't showered in a few days because I just can't bring myself to even take care of myself right now. Your loved one dies. Something you cared about more than anything, and all you wanted to do was give a restful life as they got older, and they die of cancer. Cancer, something no one caused, something no one could prevent. But it's my fault. I caused cancer.
It's really funny because at the time he thought this was like a slam dunk. Now, like I said, the whole planet doesn't even know for sure 100% that that's what causes it, but it's likely, so.
Margot was obese when she was young. As I got older, she was put on a diet treatment, lost all that weight, but still had a little bit more. You want to know why? Because her uterus went septic. She was refusing to lay some eggs, and I had to take her to the vet. She had to get her uterus removed and half of her tail amputated, which cost me over $6 grand to save her f***ing life.
Which is also your fault, because I'm so sorry that if I can't find clips for this, because he actually did just delete his entire account, by the way. But he pretty much had 2 bearded dragons, and one of them was a boy, and Margot's a girl, and they had their enclosures right next to each other so they could see each other. And since they're animals and not humans who are cute and are gonna go on funny dates, she wanted to get a little freaky, so she started making eggs. But obviously she couldn't like lay them or anything, so they just stayed inside of her and rotted. But none of what I just said might have even mattered, because as I showed in the screenshot before, he ends up just changing the story anyways, and eventually goes on to say something about the infection came from Margot eating something off the ground? I don't know.
Her tank was set up the way it was for her own safety. And if you ever even knew Margot, like none of you ever fucking did, you would know she didn't like to climb. She didn't like to be up in high spaces. She preferred to sit and bask. She preferred to crawl around, sit and bask. And how do I know that? Because she was my f***ing pet.
Okay, imagine you're a kid, right? And your parents don't even feed you like no meat, no vegetables, nothing. It's just all straight cake and ice cream. That's like your entire diet. You're gonna love that, right? So after like years of you getting all that fun treatment, your parents put some green beans on your plate in front of you and tell you to eat it. You're gonna be like, no, I don't want that. Well, obviously, even though you should want that because you kind of need fruits and vegetables and meat and all that, you're spoiled, so you naturally don't want it. That's not your fault, that's the person who raised you's fault. She's a bearded dragon. Of course, at one point she wanted to climb around and all that. It's in her biology. The reason she maybe over time found it less fun is because you let her be a fat ass and eat and not have to do anything all day. And then what he's talking about is how he removed all the climbable things in the enclosure. So it wasn't even like she had an option to change her mind anymore. If she wanted to climb, she couldn't, which is what led the obesity to get even worse, by the way.
For all the other people, the saying like the 4K, do you not know that the necropsy autopsy, the payment for the shipping her body overnight across the country, the payment for the services, the payment for the urn, the payment to ship back, all of that adds up. Saying I'm using this 4K to buy a new fursuit, why the I'm moving, I'm in the middle of moving, I have so much other things to think about than a stupid costume. I'm wearing this because I look like shit. I haven't had a single moment to grieve, I haven't had a single moment to process anything going on. You were using screenshots and shit from 5 years ago when I didn't know proper husbandry, and you're just like, oh, that's still going. Go yourself. Go yourself. All of you deserve to rot. All of you.
Yeah, look at this husbandry. There is a fabric little couch. There's multiple fabric little couches in here because, oh, it'd be so cute if my lizard had these cute little LOL things. This is another thing that contributed to the infection because these things harbor a lot of bacteria. You don't just put that in like a, you don't put cloth fabric things in a tank. Oh my god, the thing was festering with infections and shit. That is so ignorant. You're clearly not somebody who should be having so many animals because Hawke has a lot of animals. You can barely even take care of yourself. You flex the millions of dollars that you've made, which is really embarrassing.
I would love to embarrass you. Okay, have a good day. What's funny is I've made $1.6 million going downhill.
Because this video is only like a year and a half old. At the end there, he's talking about a GoFundMe. You went from being a millionaire to being somebody begging for money in like the span of a year and a half. So this is just math right off the top of my head, but you would have had to spend like, I don't know, $50,000 to $70,000 a month to fucking spend all that money in that amount of time. What would you even spend that money on? Oh, right, fossils. Over $10,000 fossils.
I don't know if there's any like science museum people on TikTok that will see this, but I need help somewhat selling / getting rid of a genuine dinosaur fossil. This is my full-bodied Claudiosaurus fossil that's been sitting in a case for almost 3 years because I am too scared to display it in my home and fear that an animal will knock it down or somebody will bump into it. And I'm really just looking for some museum to take it, preferably buy it off me because I'm moving. But I've contacted so many different museums, so many different collectors, so many different stores in New York City, and nobody will take it. I don't know if it's because they think it's not real, because I paid $14,000 for it.
It is so crazy how you can have things like that in your home but be begging for money. What you could have done is you could have gone to like a pawn shop who would have just bought that off you for cheaper than you bought it. Like, I don't know, $7K when you paid $14K? That would have been more than enough to pay for all your expenses. And yeah, you would have lost some money, but you're the one that made the stupid decision to buy that. And how would you feel if you saw someone on the street shaking a mug and then they go home to their like $10,000 fossil they have sitting on the fireplace? And by the way, last time I used that like metaphor, shaking a mug, someone in the comments was like, I saw what you did there, thinking I was talking about throwing ass on the street. No, I was talking about clanking like a jar full of change, asking for somebody to put $1 in. Some of y'all are weird as hell. But anyways, yeah, about that GoFundMe. This is the biggest scam I have ever seen in my life. The goal was like $1,700, I'm pretty sure. Then you raised it to $2,000, and then you raised it to $4,000. Because as the goal was getting met, he would like raise the goal so that he could squeeze even more money out of it. Because I'm sorry, but if you're still a Roman Hawke defender, you're just an idiot. Like you're just not smart. Because Roman Hawke is objectively a manipulator. This is what he's got him believing now. He's got people saying that it's all AI, all the bad stuff is AI. Whew. They're talking about that furry video right now. We just watched it, and that was posted on Roman's like channel. This isn't some leaked footage. It was on his account. Also, what really does not help your credibility is the fact that you have this feature on called limited comment access. Pretty much what that means is the comments aren't turned off, but they kind of are. Only certain people that you select can comment. So pretty much what it means is if you're in the middle of a controversy, you can set it to where only good comments show up and all the bad comments just don't appear on anybody else's screen. So all you get is glazers. So if somebody sees, oh, Roman Hawke is in a controversy, let me go look at their profile. Oh wait, there's no negative comments and everybody's supporting them. Wow, I guess they must be innocent after all. So pretty much just assume, and yes, you can assume, because this so far has been a 100% success rate. If somebody has limited comment access on their thing and they're in the middle of a controversy, they did it. That whatever the hell it is they're being accused of, they did that shit. They're guilty. Also, funny little side thing, this is what Roman was posting right after being like, oh yeah, Margot is dead. Sweet Neptune. Oh, and here's another thing.
Hey, so here's my art because I want you to know I am more than a lizard and a weird furry.
Where's Margot?
What?
Don't care. Where's the lizard? Where's Wells Fargo?
So you're clearly having a bit of an identity crisis. You don't want to just be known as the person who made the little "My name is Margot" video. So what are your next 3 videos you post after this to prove that you're so much more than just Margot? Well, you post that tattoo video of you just bitching about something that has nothing to do with anything. Making an argument for the sake of, I don't know, having a dull life and wanting to argue about something. And then you make a video replying to this hate comment, so just more negativity for the sake of just, I don't know, drama and wanting to be upset at something. And then you make another video complaining about how Margot just takes over your whole life. So you complain about how Margot is your whole identity, yet the only times that you don't talk about Margot, which is kind of rare, you're just like being negative and upset and complaining about other shit. This reminds me of, and I can't prove it because, you know, he deleted his entire channel, but I'm gonna play you a video and then tell you what the description was.
Why don't you stream on TikTok anymore? Oh, buddy, don't get me started. Oh, buddy, don't get me started.
Pretty much what the description was the answer to that, like, oh, don't get me started, and it was pretty much him getting started. And it was being like, you compared my body now to how my body was when I was a minor, you creeps. Where it's like, yeah, they probably are comparing you to back then, but it's not like some weird body thing. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, you've gained like 300 pounds and you used to always be smile, smile, happy days back then, and now that frown literally never leaves your face unless you're being smug, thinking you just owned somebody. That's the only time where you crack a little smirk. Since you're like a manipulator, you try stretching so hard and reaching so hard for like the pedo argument. Oh, this person that doesn't agree with me has to be a pedo. Like this one right here, there is somebody that leaves a comment and it has a picture. Their profile picture is like a baby in a bathtub, but like you can only see their head. It's not like that Melanie Martinez situation where you can see anything private, you know what I mean? All you can see is their head, and then you can just tell that they're in a bathtub because you can see water around like their shoulders. And look at this absolute reach. Holy guacamole.
I don't regret a damn thing I did because I'm so happy with how I look. I have always felt more masculine than I ever have feminine. I'm happy. What you should regret is putting a clearly not clothed child in a bathtub as your profile picture. Anyways.
And like I said, Roman does this a lot. It's really, really like, it's really pathetic. It's a low blow. Because then when you just start using this as a tool to just throw against people that you don't like, it starts minimizing the actual problem that it is. It's kind of like how you, Roman, you drop the F-bomb. Not that I'm trying to sit here and say no cussing, but you drop it at least once per sentence. But it kind of loses its sting once you do that. And the disgust and revolt that you feel when finding out that someone's like a pedo shouldn't be something that is losing its sting. It should be something that you aren't desensitized to. So how about we don't just sit there and use that as a thing that we throw around against people that we don't like, in the context of it being baseless, I mean. But, you know, here's you insinuating it again by saying everyone's weird for comparing you back to when you were a minor, as if it's like you haven't changed drastically. Alright, this is your body, this is your looks. I really don't give a shit, okay? I'm not saying you should have never changed. I'm just like using this as an example. Like, this is what you looked like before, and this is what you look like now. Why are you trying to sit here and be like, what the hell, you guys are all pedos because you guys are comparing me to my body when I was a minor? Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, no, they weren't creeping on your physical appearance. They're just concerned. Not that it's any of their business or anything. I'm just saying naturally as people, they're kind of nosy. Like I said, it's not like I'm agreeing with them. It's none of my business. I'm just saying there's a difference between someone being dislikable and someone being like a creep, which is what you're accusing people of.
Yes. Yes. I was 17 years old when I made Her Name is Margot. I turn 23 soon, so yeah, everyone being like, oh, you look so different, you used to be so pretty, blah 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 blah. I was a child.
Okay, I'm gonna do something really funny. I'm gonna replay a clip that we already saw a few minutes ago. Very short, don't worry. And then I'm going to finish playing the video that we were in the middle of watching just then. And keep in mind, these were only posted like a few weeks apart.
Hey, so here's my art because I want you to know I am more than a lizard and a weird furry. Oh, and another really sad fact that no one gives a fuck about. Yeah, I'm a furry, but I always have been. I just had adult money finally and got the suits I've always wanted. But yes, I did. Her name is Margot.
Yeah, that just comes out of nowhere, has no relation to the video, as if you were eager, waiting to say it. So why do you at the same time try to push this thing where it's like, oh, this is all people see me as? And we're gonna see a lot of that in this video here.
Let's have a real talk. Because content creators are fucking people.
I'm sure you've at least seen that intro. We're gonna let some of it play. But I want you to keep a keen eye this entire time. He is trying to cry so hard and not a single tear will come out during this entire, like, 3 minutes. Not a single one. I can only imagine why.
I never asked for a platform. I just made silly little videos with my lizard because I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny and it was entertaining. I never asked to blow up from Her Name is Margot. And ever since then, I have been put on this pedestal to create and put on a show and do marketing and do PR lists and do collabs while my grandmother was exploiting me. I didn't ask for any of this. And I just want you to imagine you are put on this pedestal with millions of people watching you, expecting one thing every single day, and you can't even do anything you like to do. Because they only want to see what they want to see. And they don't want to even know anything about you.
Who are you trying to fool here? You're able to pretty freely talk about all your special interests. You feel, like, restricted or something? You feel like there's things that you're not able to express about yourself? You're able to freely express your gender identity. You're pretty freely able to express your interest in being a furry. That's kind of all you've tried expressing because your personality is kind of bland. But, you know, what is it that you feel like you can't express? You're over here shoving... What is it you feel like you can't express? You're over here posting videos of you in a furry costume playing with yourself. I mean, if that doesn't scream freedom.
Imagine you're a 17-year-old child. You're a child. And you join a little trend and now you have millions of eyes watching you. You're a child.
You repeat the word child so many times to a fault. Because if you would have just slipped that in once or twice, then we probably wouldn't be able to tell. But when you say it like 5 times over and over again, we kind of understand like, oh, wait, I'm putting 2 and 2 together now. You're trying to guilt us. You're saying a word that's supposed to make us feel guilty. Because everybody feels bad for children when they're being like exploited or something. Except for you weren't. You know why? Because you could literally just stop posting if it was that bad. Or just stop reading the things that were upsetting you so much. I'm sorry if you think this is a controversial take, but it feels like in the past few years, people on the internet have started to believe that someone who's, I don't know, 16, 17 years old just isn't cognitive. Like, obviously, yeah, they're a kid and they're gonna make dumb decisions, but to sit here and act like it couldn't have ever crossed your mind to just not look at hate comments or just stop posting if you hated the fame so much. I've heard Roman try to say that they were kind of forced into doing this channel by their grandmother or something. And if that's true, it wasn't forever. I mean, at the very least, you've been out of that for 3 or 4 years. And even then, you never had to look at all the hate comments. I got hate comments too, and I was put up on this pedestal with a bunch of hundreds of thousands of eyes watching me when I was a child. A child! Oh man, I was 17 years old too when I started this. I think actually 16.
And then as soon as you get to be an adult and you're like, hey, I've had this hobby since I was a child. Ever since I was 11 years old. I have liked furry stuff. I have liked these anthropomorphic creatures because I love animals. I love dinosaurs. I love nature. And because of that, people hate you even more and want to harm you even more. I don't understand where we're going wrong with the actual fucking issues in the world with children dying. The absolute
in Gaza.
No way. We're going there. We're going there. Whew. Oh my god. You've done horrible things, Roman. You've neglected your pet to the point of death. You tried using that to scam your audience afterwards. And you constantly try shady little attempts like using limited comment access and all these little manipulation tactics to change the narrative. In multiple instances, when people disagree with you, instead of going the whole route and calling them bigoted, which to be fair, in these contexts specifically, you could just say that. It would make sense. But no, you baselessly insinuate that they're a pedo. But hey, everyone stop calling them out on it. Because, you know, Palestine. As if two things can't happen at once. Shut up. And to be honest, I should have shown this a little earlier in the video. I'm just gonna like throw the screenshot in the beginning, but now I'm gonna read it out. I hope your closest loved one ends and you don't get a moment to process or grieve. Kind of an insane thing to say. Pretty much just wishing harm on all of us. Kind of hypocritical because you had a whole meltdown about that. And what is this little thing? I don't know why he does this pose. Like, what even is that face that he's making? It's like a shocked expression, but with like really dead and dull eyes. And this one too. This is another one of him just saying that he hopes that we all rot. You know what I mean? How amazing. I mean, first of all, you posed this weird face. I'm not trying to bully you. I'm just saying like it's an odd like little gesture. And then you pull your phone up closer and you start typing out like wishing harm on us. I don't get the face. I mean, your eyes look like you just walked in on somebody taking a shit. And then your mouth looks like you're trying very, very hard to push out a shit. I don't know what's happening here. But regardless, that's pretty much all I've left to say about Hawke. This was certainly a longer video. Sorry that it took me so long to make it. It's just 99% yapping and I want to get all my facts straight, so I had to do all that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Are we serious?